we saw, even though Bun Bun did fantastically in the early game, that Fizz was just too difficult to deal with, and Claire just too comfortable on that champion towards the later stages.
Yeah, and Aurelia being banned here, we're seeing a lot more Aurelia picks come up.
Not to mention Chippies is a fantastic Aurelia player as well. Always wants to pick that one up if he can.
Yeah, because as the long-range mages come in, Aurelia is just such a great counter. As soon as you have that Sheen able to dive onto the back of the minion wave and get the equilibrium strike off and just so many auto attacks for mages, it is so annoying to deal with. And the Gnar being banned away as the last ban. Obviously, Chippy's not wanting to first pick that one.
That is very, very interesting coming through on a blue side especially. So we'll see whether they have a different plan in mind. And of course, Rek'Sai might be left up yet again as Team Immunity get to decide whether that's going to be there. And Janna might be the decision here, not wanting to let that one go through as well. But Morgana not going to be banned out, and Lissandra is going to be what they opt for here, as Chippy's not going to be able to play what he played in the last game, and neither is JK Smithy. So we're going to see a very different top lane experience.
I like this because both junglers have shown that they play Rek'Sai and Lee Sin. So why take Rek'Sai off the board? Because that just means the first pick Lee Sin's going to come through. Zahi had an okay game on Pantheon, had a couple of questionable ultimates. In the end, was able to really get it together and help engage for his team. But right now, if villains take up Rek'Sai, the response is just going to be Lee Sin, who is as mobile and has a great ultimate with some CC as well. So they go with maybe the Lee Sin pick.
Well, this is what the villains would love to do, because Dolph's is an incredible Lee Sin player. They are going to lock that one in, so Dolph's going to have his optimal pick here in the jungle, but it is going to give 2 power picks away to Team Immunity, and T-Gun, he's going to get that Janna yet again, and Zed is not going to get in the hands of Bun Bun another time round, and Claire going to have the assassin to end all assassins.
Yeah, I think this is so dangerous for villains. Now, they've picked up the Lee Sin. We said that was a high priority pick, but with Rek'Sai and Lee Sin up, I don't think it was first pick worthy. Now they've got the Janna to offer as much disengage as they want, and Claire is just going to be able to split push 4 days on Zed, and we've seen how good he is on assassins already. This is trouble town.
This is going to be terrifying, and I think the first really dominant performance that I ever saw Claire put through was on that Zed, and he is an absolute monster when it comes to this champion. But we'll see what he can do. Of course, Civ are going to be picked away from Uber Giants Pro in the hands of Pengu now, and Morgana is going to be picked up for possibly the carrier, maybe Bun Bun, even maybe Chippies. We've been seeing Morganas going all across this map, and Rek'Sai going to be locked in for Zahi.
Yeah, Rek'Sai for Zahi, and wow, a Lucian pickup. Not seeing much Lucian lately. He has been hit a little bit with some recent nerfs. Yeah. Still a very mobile, confident laner, but just takes a little bit longer to scale up now. Isn't as safe as he was, and with a Morgana as well as a possible Syndra coming out, will have to be extremely careful in these in this mid game.
Yeah, and we've been seeing in the OGN recently, which is where a lot of our Oceanic players get a lot of their influence, they've been still picking up this Lucian, and Uber Giants Pro loved playing that champion all throughout the last season. So see whether this is just a comfort pick for him and see what he can do on it. But we do have Pengu switching around here just a little bit, and Mundo's actually going to be locked in here for the top lane, and Orianna for Bun Bun, and this is Bun Bun's comfort champion. Loves the Ziggs, used to a long time ago, but Orianna still very, very strong and still has a lot of that control in that mid lane. We'll see whether that is what he can really bring to the table against Claire in the Zed.
Yeah, and they're gone with Mundo for their last pick, who I don't know whether they have enough hard engage now. I would have liked to see the Maokai be pick up. I actually think that Mundo, until he gets to about 4 items, is just bad Maokai. Once he gets past 4 items, he's a fantastic champion in his own right. Yeah. Can get nearly unkillable. However, up until that point, doesn't offer as much CC, and with the Morgana, they would have been able to engage onto this Janna comp absolutely no problem if they had Maokai. Able to pick up that Righteous Fury, pop that, get the Black Shield, and slow down the whole team. It's amazing to watch. Going to have a much more difficult time for Mundo to get in there than a Maokai would have. So now they're really relying on Dolphs to take the Orianna ball into the middle of the team, get a great shockwave, and then kick someone like a Claire, like an Uber Bro, back out into the team to get that pick going.
Yeah, one thing that I really, really like about the Mundo pickup is the fact that you have a Sivir there as well. And on the hunt plus Mundo means he can get in range for these cleavers, has so much chase potential with the cleavers, plus the extra movement speed, plus all of his abilities speeding him up as well. So See whether that's going to be enough, and he can maybe just run that ball right in the middle of the team.
Normally I would agree with you, but take a look at the Immunity lineup. There is gap closers on every single carry and a Janna. There is no way that Mundo is going to get anywhere near a backline with an Orianna ball unless it is the best flank I've ever seen.
It could so happen. Of course, Chippies did manage to do some pretty decent ults in that last game as Lissandra. We'll see whether he can make the same impact this game on this Mundo, but it's going to be a very different laning experience up there in that top lane. And what do you think in a 1v1 situation as far as this Mundo versus Maokai matchup goes? I could imagine it would be just smacking each other every now and again. Otherwise, let's hit some creeps.
Yeah. At the start of the game, Maokai brings a lot of CC, so you can gank the Mundo before that level 6, where he does start to regen. Of course, with the Rek'Sai coming through for Zahi, a lot of early game damage actually comes out of Rek'Sai. So they maybe have a window between level 3 and level 7 where they can get on top of this Mundo. However, without any Ignite coming through from both of those champions, until they can get Claire up into the top lane, Mundo versus Maokai is just going to be the biggest wet noodle fight after level 5.
Yeah, that could definitely come out. One thing that I very, very, very much enjoy is the fact that Bun on this Orianna has opted to go with that exhaust in the mid lane. Really, really great against these burst damage assassins, especially Zed. Make sure he does the least damage possible during that death mark. Really limit that ability to pop the Orianna.
Yeah, and with a Lee Sin, who relies so much on that skill shot from the Resignating Strike to come out, just great to be able to have that dissonance as well as the exhaust to really slow Claire down and allow the counter gank to come through. There's very little kill pressure 1v1 for Orianna or Zed in this matchup unless there's a serious outplay, just because of how safe Orianna is and how far back she can farm. And then Zed can just throw out Shurikens, of course, is an energy-based champion, pushes the lane reasonably well.
Yeah, that is really, really true. And do you think that this Orianna pickup could be a sign that Bun's feeling the pressure in this lane? Of course, had a fantastic early game last time, but you could imagine that he wouldn't be feeling as fantastic this game coming in because despite his efforts, just unable to really have the impact.
Yeah, and he got ahead.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was like. I think now he feels like, okay, I need to get ahead and I need to help my team. Because if I can help my team and really set up some ganks as well as a great shockwave in there, then I can be what we need to really survive through some of the assassins.
Yeah, that's really, really true. And has that command protect to make sure that Pengu can really be that dominant force in this game. And with the Black Shield as well, I mean, they can really stack him up, give him all the shields that he needs so that he can really perform for his team. But we are onto the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, now with the villains picking up the blue side and Team Immunity, our victors from Game 1, picking up our red side. And of course, these are best of 3, so Team Immunity, if they pick this one up, are going to be going into the next round. Of course, you need to win a couple of games before you're guaranteed a spot in the Oceanic Pro League. Team Immunity looking to get their first one now, and Villains looking to try and fight back and take this to a Game 3.
Yeah, certainly, and it looks like Immunity are stacking up, trying to get a little bit of an invade into the bottom lane, but meanwhile, JK Smith is
yeah, he's got caught. He's forced to use that flash. He's very, very low. There's going to be the cleaver to slow him down as well. Couple of wards coming in just to make sure that the Villains can really gather this one. The cleaver's coming down. First blood just going to be donated over to Pengu on this Sivir. He can back right away and pick up an extra item if he likes to, or they can continue moving around this jungle. Dolphs is going to back.
And that's great for Villains early. Getting a kill onto Pengu, who had a rough lane last game, is going to give him a little bit more confidence, get his mindset right. And that's nearly inexcusable from JK Smithy. You're a Maokai. You have the saplings to be able to scout for that early invade. Yeah. How did he get caught out in that brush there? And once you get caught by a Mundo level 1, those cleavers are relentless. You do not go anywhere, even with a flash, unless you can get over a wall.
Not to mention the fact that the carrier did have that Dark Binding probably coming off cooldown again very, very soon. This Villains lineup very sticky. So if they do catch you out, you are probably not going anywhere despite the fact that you have flash. And ooh, there's going to be a nice ward over that wall coming through from the carrier. So they're going to know that this steal's coming through. Zahi doing a lot of damage, especially with that shield coming through from Seagun. Going to successfully steal away this red buff. Dolph is going to start his blue. We'll see whether he does head over to the Immunity side to try and pick up that red over there. But it does have a ward on it. JK Smithy did manage to get that one down.
And even though the counter jungling was initiated from Immunity here, I still think they lose out because Dolph was able to pick up a camp before he had to take the buff, whereas Zahi went straight to buff, so he doesn't have that stun, he doesn't have that extra damage that comes out from Grom. And because of the lane swap situation, they're both going to have 2 buff starts because they've got stronger opposite sides of the map. Claire looking to scout this one out. He'll have a rough time, and now there is a ward on there for Immunity. But even though Immunity, as I said, initiated the invade, they come out a little bit further behind.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that the villains now have 4 members here on the top side of the map. There was nothing that Claire could do. Really couldn't risk entering that jungle because he could get collapsed upon by 4 members of the villains. So successful vertical jungling coming through from the villains here. They are going to be able to take these Raptors away as well. So the buddy system operating very, very nicely here. Is Bunbun putting a bit of pressure onto Claire here. As you can see him advancing forward on that minimap.
And this looks like to be the response to the Maokai versus Mundo matchup. We mentioned that Maokai may have the advantage very early, but then it just becomes a very heavy farm lane, which Maokai... wow, as the early Dragon comes out as well. This is more difficult as the attack speed was slowed on Dragon. It does a lot more damage if it is scouted out, but it looks like it is safe for Immunity here.
Yeah, Immunity do, of course, have that Scuttle Crab as well. So able to utilize that one. You can see this Dragon is going to fall down. So Zahi going to smite that one away. There it is. It's going to be first Dragon snuck out here by Immunity, just knowing that there are a few too many members top lane on the side of the villains.
Yeah, and that, I guess, nullifies the first blood gold, because the extra stats that come through for your team there is, of course, an extra item on that Dither in the longsword. But the first Dragon equals roughly a longsword for yourself as the carrier comes through for a tank.
Oh my goodness, so much damage. One more auto attack would have done it, but Claire now in a lot of trouble. He's going to get exhausted here by T-Gun, who's just come in to the rescue.
That was a surprising amount of burst damage from Claire there as well. Now Dolph has caught out T-Gun as well. He's going to have to flash here to get away. No, misses the Q. Was going for Claire. That's a little bit greedy. Yeah, Sonic Wave. I mean, it's going to be a safeguard to that ward, and he's going to immediately flash off to T-Gun as well, but Zahi's now here. He's going to have a lot of damage as Rek'Sai early on. Claire's going to finish off that kill. Bunbun now in a very uncomfortable position. There's the Unburrow, immediately flashed after here as well by Zahi. And the Dissonance going to do work slowing him down, but not quite enough. Chilling Smite's going to come in. Bunbun with no mana. And that Furious Bite onto from Zahi going to be the last little bit of damage on Bunbun. Needs to be so careful of Claire right now. If he's able to get a Shadow anywhere near him, that would be instantly popped, I believe, just because of the mana issues. And not keeping enough for a Command Protect could mean that there is a bit of danger. And that was just over-aggression and a really silly Q coming out of Dolph there on Lee Sin. We complimented his Lee Sin play, but got extremely greedy, trying to pick up 2 kills when he had T-Gun for absolutely free. Yeah, he does get a little bit overexcited when he does get his Lee Sin pick. But see whether he can turn this one around as the game does go on. And Zahi having a little bit more success here on this Rek'Sai pick, now with an assist under his belt. See whether he can command control of this map, of course. The second try here for Rek'Sai. See how it does go through. Bunbun use that Command Protect. Does have a lot of his mana back, but has to be very careful. Claire with the red buff now as well. There's actually the tunnel coming through. Gets knocked up by the Unburrow as well. Dissonance is going to be available, but Claire just pops around. He's going to pick up that kill. Dolph's not going to do anything here. Chilling Smite going to come down. He's so aggressive here, but just going to get obliterated. And that is going to be the passive from Claire, and just Zahi with so many abilities at his disposal. My gosh, that was ridiculous. And we spoke last game about how much damage Zed does early with that passive. Yep. If you get below 50% HP, able to absolutely chunk out Dolphs there. Once again, over-aggressiveness, looking to snowball for his team, but now Claire 2-0-1 up in CS. Already able to pick up that Bilgewater Cutlass is going to have to slow, and early Blade of the Ruined King coming out maybe around the 12 or 13 minute mark is going to be terrifying on the side of villains. Yeah, normally I don't like this Bilgewater Cutlass pickup as well, but I like it in this case against Orianna, who likes to harass you slowly down. So having that little bit of extra lifesteal is going to be very helpful in that lane, and let Claire just auto-attack these creeps and command dominance over this lane. Now, a few CS in the lead. We'll see whether he can continue this pressure. Chippies now. The 1v1 situation, the really exciting
mode here in the top lane. Both level 6, both probably not going to die. As T-Gun does come up as well, but he's not going to really offer too much to this situation.
Yeah, I don't know even if T-Gun played that perfectly that anything was going to happen there. That Mundo in the top lane is behind a little bit, but will be farming up so well in the top lane. Not going to be any problem for him to get himself into this game now. And JK Smithy looking to pick up potentially a roller on Maokai, although that Righteous Fury, as we mentioned, is also a terrific item.
Yeah, very, very good. T-Gun coming through, throwing a Howling Gale through, and then heading back to the bottom lane as well. He's really been roaming around a lot, has T-Gun. This is something that he always loves to do. The T-Gun of old just doesn't really want to be in one lane ever. Sort of like that kid that can't sit down and settle, you know? Ooh, just the tip of the boomerang. Just going to hit T-Gun as he enters in the lane. Pengu saying welcome.
But we're seeing the difference in the lane already. Uberbro on that Civil last game, able to shove the wave in continuously against the Vayne, build that big CS advantage. Uberbro, however, on this Lucian, having absolutely no problem keeping up in farm, actually ahead by a little bit and zoning Pengu off this wave.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that T-Gun's been roaming so much. That's actually going to be a relentless pursuit, very aggressively used.
Whoa.
Black Shield, oh, what perfect use of the piercing light coming through from Uberbro as well. You can see how comfortable he is. There's Deathmark coming through onto Bun Bun. Command Protect going to keep him alive. As we do have the Void Rush coming down from Rek'Sai as well. That is such a terrifying ultimate. But so sort of like you just went to the Raptors. Like, oh my god! Raptors, yeah.
It can be high impact. You understand why it does that? But it's just been a little bit not so climactic in these games. As we see Uberbro putting down a lot of damage on this bottom lane now. The repetitive shields coming out just so we can push out this wave, get it into turret. Sivir may miss out on a lot of CS here, although looks like we'll be there in time. And the flank coming in from Lee Sin. They actually need to be careful.
Yeah, the carrier coming around. Actually, there's on the hunt being popped. Dolph's wanting to make something happen here. They've got the teleport coming through as well. Now going to find Uber Giants, bro. He's got his flash available, so he's just going to use that to get back under the turret. 4 members now actually taking a lot of damage here. Is Bun Bun. He's going to be able to actually trade for that kill. The tower helping him out. So that's a 1-for-1 there in the mid lane. And an unsuccessful gank there in the bottom lane. But Villains now with control of this map.
They need to be so careful here. Still full health on the side of Claire, and there is a couple of very low HP. People, even though Dolphs has some HP there, is extremely squishy at this point in the game. Looks like they will be going for the Dragon, but the teleport is coming through on Uberbro's.
Oh, and there's the Dark Binding landing on Uberbro. He's not going to be in this world for too much longer. He's going to be able to secure Dolphs, and that's going to be Claire coming in as well. Actually taking down Chippy's the tanky Mundo. The carrier very low on health as well, and they are forced off that Dragon. Immunity just able to regather themselves far too quickly for the Villains to handle.
Yeah, and Villains are going to have nightmares of Claire. This guy is absolutely tearing them apart. 4-0-1, up 14 CS on an Orianna as a melee champion like Zed. Second Dragon of the game now picked up, and they've got a 2,000 of gold lead at 10 minutes in.
This is very, very frightening here. And if you factor in the extra Dragons as well, that's so much more of a lead as far as these stats are concerned for Team Immunity. And Dolphs, even though he got his favorite champion, just not doing much. There's a flash into the Unbarrow as well. So much damage. Command Protect might be enough here. Has actually popped that potion as well as the extra shield from the Safeguard. So Dolphs is going to be fine, but he's going to, yeah, like you were talking about nightmares. I mean, I think Zahi's probably going to be enough here as well.
So it looks like Immunity now just going back to their lanes, happy to farm up. They understand that they're winning this game so far with the double buffs on Zed. Going to be extremely difficult for Bun Buns to be able to even equalize this lane. And the bottom turret, that's going to be falling now as well. Just objective after objective in favor of Immunity. And look at them, they want to deny everything they can out of this Villains team.
Yeah, and I'm so impressed by Uberbro being able to stay up in CS. Actually, he's ahead by 20 now since Pengu had to go back a little bit earlier on as that Dragon was going down. But T-Gun's been all over this map. Uberbro's been forced just to hang out by himself. But look at the effect that he's had as Zahi's coming through for a gank in this top lane. The Sadism has been popped by Chippies. We'll see there's going to be enough regen. Forces the flash out there as well. Dolph's coming in, but he is very, very low. The Unbarrow going to come through. Chippy's going to be the first to die. And immediately afterwards, Dolph falling down as well. And look at these guys. Team Immunity is with so much power. Deathmark going to come down onto Bun Bun. The Command Protect already being used. The Flash being utilized. Oh, actually, no, that was just his ultimate yet again. Out of that Shockwave, and Claire, so much mastery of this champion.
Yeah, and this is why I did not think Claire would get an assassin.
Yeah.
Because 5-0 on 1 now, up even further, going to take out that turret as well. Uberbro going aggressive. Probably won't get anything here, though.
Yeah, the tower not on very high health, and the villains are going to be forced out of this bottom lane as well, so it's going to be T-Gun.
Look at the coordination here. All three turrets are going to fall within 30 seconds of each other.
Yeah, this is the coordinated play. It's called the triple turret smash or something like that, I believe. And they all just command that one through. I think it's like, you know how they have plays in football? Sort of the play that they're going for here. Work with me here, Spawn. Help me out.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one whatsoever. As we see Uberbro pushing out the lane. Going to be able to go back and shot, pick up that Infinity Edge. And with the passive coming through, Infinity Edge is such an important first item buy here. And now that they've taken those outer rings, we've seen a 2,000 gold lead at 10 minutes turn to a 6,000 gold advantage at only 13 minutes in the game. Zahi.
He definitely didn't want that brush water. He was pretty mad about that happening. Just going to void rush his way over there and clear that one out. Not going to be able to get rid of that ball, but Bun Bun is going to pick that one back up as well because he doesn't want to be too close to the red side. He's really, really scared. Yeah,
and at this point in the game, you have to look at what the villains can do to stall this one out. They've got a Monday. If they get to the late game, he will become extremely tanky, as we've spoken about. Orianna, the perfect support mid laner. But I just don't see how they can stall against a team that has such a good split pusher like Zed that is up 5-0 on 1. He can dive anyone on the team at this point and will have absolutely no problem at all.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that JK Smith is sort of a little bit unsung in this game, but being able to just farm this one out as this Maokai, clearing out his top lane turret as well, and Dolphs is going to try and get a gank.
Coming in here, though.
Carrier coming through as well. JK Smithy getting slowed down by that cleaver. Look at the Vengeful Maelstrom, though, doing so much work, keeping him alive. Dolph's forced to get the heck out. Dark Binding's going to land. Nice work of the passive, but Dolph's going to use that Resonating Strike, of course, weaving in that Q. And that's going to secure that kill and help him get back into this game.
But they pick up a kill, and Claire's just trading it for a turret in the bottom lane. Pengu cannot go anywhere near him because that's just going to happen.
Yeah. See whether this is going to be enough, but as you can see, just going to get snapped by that Deathmark. He's going to get back to his ultimate shadow there as well, so Claire unable to be split pushed against.
Yeah, and that's exactly the point. Yeah, they pick up a kill, but what else did they get from it? Absolutely nothing. Maybe some farm into Orianna in the mid lane, but meanwhile, Claire relentless in this bottom lane, forcing so much CS into the turret, and the damage is already done. That's already below half health as well. The carrier goes in. Yeah,
there's a flash. Soul Shackle's coming through. Is going to be able to get the stun here as well, and there's going to be the Resonating Strike, the shutdown coming through. Nicely executed, just knowing exactly what was on cooldown here on the side of Claire. There's the flash into the Shockwave. Immunity seems to be falling apart just a little bit, but they are going to be able to take down this inner turret as Chippy's in a lot of trouble. Uberbro going to sidestep that one. Exhaust going to come through onto him as well. He's just going to get slowed down by that one. There's the crit, and there's going to be the piercing light after the flash. Uberbro picking up a nice kill for himself against the top laner in the top lane.
Yeah, 2v1. Bun Bun is rotating around to maybe get another little flank here.
Nice
followed by the Lee Sin, so this is a good 2v2.
Oh, look at that. Uberbro actually sidestepping the Dark Binding. Going to get resonatingly struck out of this fight, though. T-Gun in a little bit of trouble, completely out of that mana. JK Smithy's found his way back in, utilized that teleport here, uses that ultimate coming through as well. There's a Twisted Advance. That's going to easily take down Bun Bun. The carrier now might be in a bit of trouble, but they're going to turn around onto Dolphs, who just kicked Zahi the heck out of the way. Safeguards to the carrier. That's nice use of the mobility of this Lee Sin, and JK Smithy can't find himself on top of these champions again. So the villains did manage to get themselves back in
the bottom lane. Another 1v1. Claire picks up Pengu for the second time in a row. Pengu just stopped going anywhere near Claire.
I don't think he wanted to, man. I don't think he wanted to. That was not on purpose. Zahi now just going to fly away from this Zahi very, very quickly.
Okay, so villains really need to slow this game now. They've tried to speed it up and trade kills to get themselves back in the game, but this is deteriorating very rapidly. As long as Immunity don't lose sight of what the objectives are, as Dolphs actually gets shut down there, they are in complete control of the game. Villains need to understand exactly where they're at. They've got some late game carries. They just need to stop fighting and put the game on ice for a good 15 minutes. try and contest a dragon and just pick up one.
Yeah.
And then take the game from there. Speeding the game up is just playing exactly into Immunity's hands.
Well, Darkbinding is going to catch Claire there as well. And going to use his Shadow aggressively in this circumstance. So, of course, Claire never going to be one to opt for the passive route.
And the whole team actually collapsing on this turret as well. So that's the second outer turret of the game.
Look at how aggressive Uberbro is. He has eaten his Weepix this morning, or someone got mad at him. I think he's had an argument with his sister.
Ultimate comes out for the villains, though. They're looking for the engage.
He doesn't actually have a sister, a lot of brothers, but we do have the fight coming through. On the Hunt's going to be used, but the villain's just deciding to get the heck out of here as the Smithy comes through. And Dolph's now in a lot of trouble. He was way too far up. Nice two-man shockwave, but it's not going to net any kills because this Orianna just doesn't have enough gold as Uberbro sidestepping another Dark Binding.
Okay, so they need to understand what is still available on Immunity side. Claire has not used his ultimate. They're dancing in and out of the fight. T-Gun's ultimate's going to be up relatively soon, meaning they can just ult to reset with the heal if they would like. But this is the problem with villains. We spoke about it in the Champion Select. How do they actually get onto the team? They pick up their first turret of the game in that top lane thanks to a nice
MVP minions, yeah.
But once the Lee Sin uses his gap closer, if they don't get in, if a nice Howling Gale comes through, if the ultimate from Janna locks that one out, there's absolutely no way to get on the backline of Immunity.
Not to mention the fact that JK Smithy has just so much more zoning potential and just disruption on the backline here of the villains. We just saw the fact that he activates that ultimate and he just can't be killed.
And once again, Zahi joining his mid laner for a little bit of a split push. They have been scattered out here, going to be able to clear out some wards around mid lane. That will be the next objective. Of course, JK Smithy doesn't have teleport, so they need to be careful of the 4v5. They are ahead. I don't know that they're that ahead, though. So it looks like they will just continue to send Claire bottom lane to pick up as much CS as he can.
Yeah, it seems to be the 1-3-1 situation. As Claire giving a little bit of respect here to the bottom lane players of the villains and not wanting to go up against two members. Dolphs, you can see just defensive wards. Doesn't want to get caught going for his Grump. I mean, he was taking the Raptors before and he paid for it with his life, so going to make sure he's as careful as possible as T-Gun just so far forward, getting the wards down that he needs to.
Yeah, and with those mobility boosts as well as the Janna passive, feeling confident that he can outrun nearly anyone on the map. As he's picking up a red buff for his trouble on the other side of the jungle. Meanwhile, Uberbro picking up their red buff, so complete control at this point on the side of Immunity. And it looks like villains are trying to now stall the game, but it might just be a little bit too late.
Yeah, we can see Zahi as well, opting to go for another Brutalizer yet again. So really, really liking that item on both Pantheon and this Rek'Sai now as well. I think we're going to be used to clear out that brush on the side of the villains.
I think it's because both games JK Smithy has just got that tanky that they felt they could run Soul Tank up until about the 30-minute mark. Because if you build a second Brutalizer and you're not extremely fed, that's what you're committing to. As a really nice culling comes through, Bun Bun eats all of it.
Yeah, it's going to be the command protect onto Dolphs here as well. Nice shockwave onto two members, but he's going to pay for that one with his life. T-Gun for the Orianna, and Zahi's going to fall down, goes straight under that turret. Soul Shackle's going to come through. Uber getting caught up. Dark Binding comes down as well. Dolph's getting a little bit upset. Doesn't quite want to go too far in on this one. And Uber Giants, bro, man. Calculated before he uses that flash in order to get the heck out of there.
2-for-1 trade on the side of villains, and we've mentioned that Dolph is a great Lee Sin player. We saw it there, really nicely done. 4, 6, and 3, having a good game now for his team, but it does still mean that 2 turrets are going to fall, and one of them's an inner turret. That's really bad news. Yeah, irrespective of the kill trades, I mean, the map pressure is still just so far in the hands of Immunity, and Claire just swings his way around. 7, 1, and 2 now on this Zed, and just swings on over to that mid lane and clears up that turret as well alongside Uber Giants, bro, who just seems to have no fear. He didn't bring very much fear to this particular series. Just a lot of bloodthirstiness. I like it. And he's backing now. We'll be able to pick up that static shift for himself. So he's got that nice 2-item power spike going on that Lucian does like. A minute 30 on Dragon. Baron is live. Probably not going to be the next objective, though. As we said, it's just so tanky at this point of the game, even when you do have a 7-1-2 Z. And why not just walk down mid lane? There is an open inhibitor right now, and I don't think there's anything villains can do to contest it.
Yeah, even though Orianna, a fantastic teamfighting champion, just doesn't really have all that much to offer in these fights just because they're so far behind. 60 CS now against Claire. Dark Binding going to come through the carrier trying to make something happen, but Unity just going to sidestep that one, and Zahi, he's got his eyes on the prize, using that burrow for a little bit of extra movement speed. Try and get in here and get some pot shots on this inhibitor. Have to respect the Dark Binding, because there is a bit of burst damage coming through from the villains. But with Chippy's in the top lane, JK Smithy going to try and get up there as well to clear out this wave. And Immunity, see whether they can try and make this one happen. Dissonance with some nice damage actually coming down into these guys. Player takes a chunk. But it's the standoff.
Yeah, meanwhile, in the top lane, it looks like Mundo has had to burn his ultimate against JK Smithy because he is winning the 1v1. Don't think much is going to happen now that it is getting to this point. Chippy just strolls away. Looks like he is going for a little bit of a flank here, but rest of Immunity walking up to meet him as well. Chippy's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be Zahi finding him first. There's the unburrow for the knock-up. It's going to be immediate flash afterwards as well. Zahi loves doing that one. We'll see whether he can find Chippy's unburrowed. Oh, there he is. There he is. Found him. Yeah, manages to pick that one up as well.
So in the end, they killed the tankiest member in Mundo. Zahi using that ultimate just to get across to the other side of the map. They will pick up another Dragon for themselves. I believe that is number 3 for the game.
Yeah, that's actually number 4 coming through
wow,
for
at
Team
23
Immunity.
minutes. Of course, they did pick up that extremely early Dragon.
Yep, and then kept them coming on cooldown. So, one Dragon away from that ever-important 5th Dragon. Oh my goodness, the Shockwave's going to catch Uber Giants Pro though. Did so much damage, but it's not going to be quite enough. JK Smithy, look at the Twisted Advance coming in. He's just going to explode Bun Bun. 1-for-1 trade now. The AD carry is gone on the side of Immunity, but that's okay because Claire's here, and he's another AD carry for these guys, even though he might be a little bit more melee than Uber Giants Bro. Now going to be able to clear out that inhibitor, so nicely played by Team Immunity, but a little bit overly aggressive, you might say, on the side of Uber.
Yeah, it looks like T-Gun caught a little bit spectating there. He had his flash, his exhaust up as well, and it looked like Uber was just going to be able to solo out Bun Bun there, but a great Shockwave, absolutely chunking the AD carry. Able to trade 1-for-1, but once again, the damage is in the structures that continue to fall on the side of villains. They're 1 turret to 7 in this game.
Yep, so scary. 12,000 gold is the lead at 24 minutes for Team Immunity. So things are looking really, really good for these guys. And you can see, look at the vision control as well. I mean, if the villains cross the river on the top side of the map, they're going to be seen. There is no way that they are getting out of that part of their jungle. And really, really aggressive forward warding coming through.
Yeah, and so now Immunity, all they need to do to close this one out is concentrate Claire in that bottom lane, try and take out that turret, because once again, no one can really split up against him. As well, Zahi literally engaged a little bit ahead of his team though.
Yeah, this is a problem that you can have on Rek'Sai, because you're so mobile that you tend to get places before others, and you're just not quite as tanky as you'd otherwise like here at this stage. Only has that Spectre Scout for a little bit of extra health, plus those Merc Treads for this magic resist.
And it does look like the concentration now will be in that Baron area. Looks like Villains has surrendered complete control of it. They've retreated back to their base, and this will be absolutely free on the side of Immunity. As long as Claire doesn't get caught out, they will get hit for nothing.
Yeah, you can see JK Smithy just happy to tank this one up almost perpetually, as this Maokai just so incredibly tanky and gets taken down so quickly as well.
Yeah, so the improved recall coming through might have been better to send a couple more members back, because of course you don't have that regen from Baron now.
Yep.
Old habits do die hard, so they do send their members back, able to pick up a Youmuu's Ghostblade and a Brutalizer on Lucian. He might be looking to pick up a Youmuu's for himself.
Yeah, maybe. Or a Black Cleaver? Not entirely sure. I could imagine that Youmuu's probably the better option here, because he does like bursting people down. He said, no, Bun Bun got the better of me last time. It's not going to happen this time.
Yeah, smart pick up here, because the only armor is a Sunfire Cape, which isn't extremely armor intensive, as well as some Ninja Tab. Otherwise, there's not really that much armor on their side. So the Brutalizer component will be able to help that out. As we see, cannon minions are so much fun with Baron now. They just attack so far back.
Yeah, Uber Giants Pro. That back wave gonna clear out the pink ward. And Immunity just so far into the villain's base. Getting caught just a little bit, has finished that Banshee's Veil. And look at this inhibitor turret in the top lane. It's going down so fast. That one's going to get taken through. The inhibitor going to follow immediately afterwards. Dark Binding going to find JK Smithy, but who cares? On the Hunt's being popped here by Pingo, actually, the spell shield as well. The inhibitor goes down, though, and the villain's just unable to make anything happen. They can't get past this front line. Look at that, there's the flash into the Monsoon as well to break up the villains. Is it going to be enough? Chippy's actually was the one that got brought into the team. He's going to fall down, not as tanky as he'd like to be. Flair with so much burst damage. JK Smithy, 3-man shockwave, but it's just not going to be enough from Bun Buns, and they're just getting cleaned up here. Pengu, the only one alive. He's on the fountain. The last Nexus turret is going to fall down. Pengu just going on a bit of a ride there as the Nexus gets taken down. Team Immunity with 2 dominant performances here against the Villains.
Yeah, the second game particularly was one-sided, and Immunity just looking fantastic. Looking extremely crisp on a new patch. So, well played, particularly by their mid laner, Claire.
He is so good. It's ridiculous. Of course, Fizz, and then as we saw that Zed, there was nothing that anyone could do. I could imagine that there's almost 3 bans that you definitely want to come through against Immunity now. You can't see that Nah. You can't see the Fizz, and you can't see that Zed. And his LeBlanc is what we got permanently banned against this guy, so it's going to be very scary. I think he needs someone who can really take control of the lane against him.
Yeah, but Villains did have moments of brilliance. Individually, very, very strong players coming through us, particularly from Lee Sin. So they were able to turn some fights around. Just need to work on that communication a little bit further as a team.
Yeah, they really, really do. And of course, Dolph's having a really tough early game on his favorite champion there, so unable to really showcase what he can do as we do jump into a replay here.
So this was one of the plays that actually looks like Villains set up extremely well. They get a flank in here from Bun Bun, but the ultimate just resets the fight so quickly. The rest of the team now, even though they're able to pick up a kill, just start flying in. And, oh, actually, maybe this is... Yeah, no, this is definitely the one that they turn so quickly. JK Smithy goes in. He's just an absolute beast at this point in the game. Pops his ultimate for the kill. And unfortunately, as we said, once Villains gets in, the only person that can really get in there is Dolph. After that, the rest of the team has to trickle forward. No gap closers on that team, and they just didn't have the answers they needed. Yeah, and some fancy footwork from Dolphs did manage to save his life, but trading 1-for-1 in a situation that the Villains had orchestrated so beautifully, and Uber Giants Pro maybe going a little bit overly aggressive, which was exactly what he was doing this entire series. So a brilliant replay just to illustrate what was happening in the minds of our Immunity players. And Uber was a player that often played a little bit conservatively, a little bit passively, but not anymore. Not anymore. He has definitely seen red somewhere. Yeah, he certainly has, and I think it's just moving away from the Corki pickup. Of course, he liked to play a controlling fashion with Corki, shooting missiles from long range and setting up team fights for his team. Now that he's not playing Corki, looks like he wants to get in there, be able to mix it up, and pick up some kills for himself. Yeah, and it's really, really great. Of course, seeing this Lucian pickup as well that we've seen falling out of favor and then still doing so much work on this guy. Of course, that double tap doing a lot of work for that guy. But we do have the next matchup. Of course, there are 2 best-of-3s coming to you guys today. So we're going to have the next matchup coming up, which is going to be between Fornot and Endzone after this break.